Welcome to Healing Highs with Laura, where we talk about the highlights and serendipitous moments of our healing journeys. I'm your host, Laura, an international energy healer for animals and humans. Thank you for being here. I love sharing these stories with you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Healing Highs with Laura, where we talk about the highlights and serendipitous moments of our healing journey. Thank you for being here. We are in season 3 of this podcast. It's weird for me to even think about it in that way. But thank you so much for being here and starting this new season with us. I'm really excited to see what unfolds. I will give a warning. I woke up with the most insane allergies. I don't get allergies like this. So my nose is running, my eyes are watering, and I might sneeze. So warning if you're watching, that's what's happening. Last season, I kind of want to talk about a lot of different things today. Last season, at the end of every episode, we would ask the guests like a list of questions, and I thought it would be good for me to answer them. So I have them here, and I was gonna just kind of start answering those just to kind of bridge us from last season to this season. Since this season we're doing some different things in that way, asking some different questions at the end. So the first question from last year was, what healing modality do you love the most besides something that like I would offer? And that's, when I would ask people, they would always have like a hard time with that. And I also can see why that's hard, because it is. I would say somatic. I don't know how they, somatic facilitator. I went to someone once that she led me through making like very minute movements with like my jaw. It was like the tiniest movements, and thinking about different memories so that the energy could be moved from that space, and like going to a happy place and bringing that energy into, like, it was like really tiny jaw movements. And it was so small and slow, but definitely a somatic technique. And I was internally spinning the fastest I've ever spun. It was just like if somebody was flashing like black and white cards in my face. And I really felt like a huge shift, and it was a very enjoyable experience. So I would say, and any other somatic work that I've done, it's been really great. So I would say that, or Kundalini yoga. I also have very intense experiences at the end of Kundalini yoga, after you do all the poses and chants and you're sitting, maybe after a breath of fire. It's like intense body. I see myself like really big and really small, and it's just all these big movements energetically. So that one too, I would say those two. Favorite type of yoga, I would say Kundalini yoga. Most special place you've traveled. That is hard to answer. I always say Italy because I spent so much time there. But yeah, Italy. I would say where I lived, I was like the top of this apartment building. We had access to it, and you could see all of Florence. And that was the first time I went up there, I cried. It was 11 o'clock at night, and we went up there, and I looked out and I just started crying and was so happy to be there. So yeah, I would say Florence, Italy. Let's see. Favorite constellation, Orion. It's the best. It's been my favorite my whole life. And Atlantis or Lemurian. I say Lemurian because I have a lot of connection to that energy whenever I go to places that are considered in the Lemuria energy. I have a lot of wild things happen to me. Most unique place you've ever hosted a ceremony or been to a ceremony. Maybe Sedona. I mean, we all know it's like the vortex, it's so incredible and strong. So I would say that I did a plant medicine ceremony in Sedona, and that was really magical. A nickname that you might have. So when I was in elementary school, my friends started calling me Jaws because we were at a slumber party and I don't know what happened, and somehow I like bit someone accidentally. That sounds so weird. It wasn't to be mean. I don't know. It was weird. And so then from that point on, they started calling me Jaws. Favorite type of food, or what category of food, like a dish that you love? I mean, Mexican food or Italian food, that's the best. If you had a choice, what would you reincarnate as? I would want to be a well taken care of cat because they have the life, and then you're all soft. Or an elephant. That's cool too. Favorite word. Okay, so my favorite word, if you're watching this on video, you're going to be able to see it, but if you're listening, I'll describe it. It's actually a sign, like in sign language. And so it's the word festival, and you hold your hands like you're holding something in both hands and near your shoulders, and you spin them. And so it's for the word festival, and I don't know, it just has like a good energy, like so it's my favorite word. I always think of it when people say things like that. What's your favorite word? I was like, festival. Moon sign, mine is Gemini. So that was all the questions that we would ask our guests last season. So I thought I would answer those and just get into some things to start us off for this season. And I wanted to sort of talk about a couple things that are going on recently. We have Mercury in retrograde. We have the eclipses just happened. So a lot of energy kind of moving around. And I just wanted to talk about the things that I was doing, and maybe they'll help you. And definitely let me know the things that you do during those times. One of my signs, or I have a lot of stuff in Mercury. I don't know how to explain that properly. I'm not in astrology in that way, but it's a strong planet, ruling planet for me, I think is what you would kind of say. And so sometimes when it's in retrograde, I have a great time and it's not affecting me the way it affects everyone else. And then other times I'm in it too, and my phone won't work, and I look and, oh yeah, of course, that's why, because we're in retrograde. But I also notice if I'm doing healing on myself, it helps that. And so then practically the things I'll do is make sure any reservations or flight, travel things, appointments, that they're confirmed, like almost triple confirmed. Then there's no miscommunications. Everything happens. Everything's correct. And I've literally triple confirmed, not just double, confirmed it after the fact. I've then again, right before it, again, double, like triple checked. I've gone on, 2-week vacations during this time and had a beautiful time because I did that. I triple checked that everything was the way it was supposed to be. And then just also like moving with grace and compassion for everyone else around you, because it can be kind of tricky. So that's like a practical thing that I'll do for those types of things. And then of course, like with your phone or computer technology, you just have to know it's going to happen. Stuff's going to happen. And then, yeah, definitely doing your healing, because the whole thing of it being a time to look at what you want to let go of and change and shift. If you're doing that work, it makes it just a little smoother in my experience. So sometimes I'll host workshops or, a chakra workshop or something in that time on purpose, because I know it's going to help me, and it hopefully will help everyone in it to move through those few weeks a little easier. So that's something that's been a form of self-care and awareness that I've been doing. And then some other things in that way is a lot of small things that we know those small things can lead to big shifts or big insights. So I've been doing kind of a lot of small things in those way. And I revisited the book, is it The Power of Now? I think by Eckhart Tolle. Everyone says his name so different. So now I'm self-conscious about saying his name because I keep hearing it in different ways. But I read it so long ago, and then I saw it and I thought, I'm going to read that again. So I've been actually listening to it, and it's been really a great reminder, because something that I've carried through from the first time was, it's all about being in the present moment, finding a way to be in the now, right now, and letting go of the before and what's coming so that we're not having worry and anxiety. And one of the things he says is to observe your mind, of course, in a way that I think we talk about a lot here, in looking for patterns, looking for things you hear yourself saying a lot or thinking a lot, your self-talk, so you can address those, but also going even deeper than that to a way I would describe it as like kind of like a nothingness, a space to be present in. And so he says, ask your brain, what is going to be my next thought? And then just sit in that. And it is wild, because you get this period of, 5 to 10 seconds of just waiting and nothing's happening. No thought is coming. And it's a great way to drop into being present and experiencing that, if that's something hard for you, and helping that grow and cultivate to be more of a space you're comfortable in and more of a space you can drop into. So I always remembered that, and I will periodically, bring that around and use that. But another thing that I read or listened to from that book that I forgot about is he will talk about like observing the mind. So imagining that you are the watcher and you're watching your mind. And I just picture this like side profile drawing of me, like looking at my brain. And for some reason, every time I lock into that as the watcher, my whole body just is, and I feel a wave of like a deep breath moving through me. And then I try to stay there as much as I can. And it, again, is another quick trigger to drop into that presence and then try to stay there for as long as I can. Even driving, it's nice. It feels like it's regulating you and your system. And so I've been trying it in different moments, like driving or, in a waiting room or the store, whatever it is. And I did notice recently, I was in like kind of a high stress day or like morning kind of, and I was trying to do it, and it felt like it was helping a little, but it couldn't break through. And then once the thing that I was having stress about ended, I did it again and I could get into that space. So it was interesting to see, like, when I'm more stressed, how that did help, but it couldn't get all the way in because of the competing stress. And then once that was done, I could get back into that place. So that was an interesting experiment and kind of taught me a lot about how to move through those things and do more so that that doesn't have to be so intense. So yeah, maybe if you've never read that or rereading it, because I've had some good reminders from looking at it. Oh, so another silly, fun thing that I wanted to share is when you look on your phone for finding a map and getting directions to something, there's different apps. And I have the regular one that comes with the phone, and then I have Waze. And Waze, I forget about a lot. And I recently remembered it. And what's fun about Waze is the voice. They give you the options that the voice that's directing you can be like cat inspired, dog inspired, pop singer inspired. So when it's giving you the directions, it will also act as if it is those characters, and it'll just add these like funny things in that personality, or there's a unicorn one and it's all like fairy sounding and ting, ting, and it's very silly. And so there's one that's a wellness. And I remembered this the other day and I thought, yeah, I want to use Waze again because it's fun. And then to hear those voices. And then also this wellness one, I thought, oh, this is great. It will help me. And it reminded me, it's just these tiny things, again, these tiny things that can help you. So when it's giving you the directions, it'll say like, if you have to turn around, it'll say, make a U-turn. Sometimes going back and revisiting a place, it's good to look for something new that you didn't see the first time. When it's just telling you to make a U-turn, but it's going like another step, or it feels your speed. And so if you seem like you're in traffic, it'll do like a tuning fork or like a sound bowl, like ding, or it will say, take a deep breath, have compassion for the other drivers around you. And then there was another one, oh, I was going to veer left and then make a left. And so it said, veer left. And once you find a place where you'll be, take a moment to be present and then turn left. So it's just silly and fun, but also at times it tells you, take a deep breath. And those things are helpful. So I just think all these little things, it's nice to support yourself and have these small versions of self-care that you can weave throughout your day that are very simple and easy to do. So yeah. And then I wanted to tell you guys something that happened to me last year. I moved, and when I was looking where I was going to move, the place that I was looking at, there was a bird outside under a tree that seemed sick. And so when I went in, the person that was showing me the place had already noticed that the bird was sick and was calling a place where you can take the birds. And in the meantime of us kind of working that out, someone from across the way came over and was taking them there. And so immediately I felt like this is a great space. My neighbor obviously cares about animals and birds. This feels really good. So then like a little bit of time went by and I went back to look at the place. And at this point I was going to be moving in, but I was just back, just kind of looking at some things, and noticed out my kitchen window by that tree was this formation of rocks with drawings, different symbols that I did take pictures and look up, and they were like representing different energies. I can't think of what the word is right now. I know you guys don't know what the word is. And so I think it was for the birds, because one of them was like a bird symbol. So I think that bird probably passed away. And there was another bird that I had also seen that had passed away. And so I think they buried them there and then put this formation of rocks and did this for them. And again, that might freak somebody out to think like you're moving into this place and there's a little pet cemetery or bird cemetery right there. And then there's these like rocks with things on them. But I actually was so happy because I thought, wow, this is cool. My neighbor cares about animals, honored them, did a ritual for them, marked this space. And so then I also made some offerings of different things to that space as well. And so I always think it's funny because when I tell people about it, it kind of is this initial like, what? And then I explain how I feel good about it. And I actually met my neighbor looking at it. She came out and then I kind of explained to her what it was. And she was talking about how she thinks that's so great and was so interested in it. And I thought, okay, well, good. Again, another neighbor who seems open-minded, and this is great. So when I was moving, that was one thing. And then nearby, I drove around. It's an area I'd never really been in. And there was a business that had my name on it. And, you know, most of you know, my name is Laura. It's spelled Lara. Some people say it Laura, you know, but it is Laura and it is unique. And so you don't see it very often. So it was interesting that near where I was moving, there was a business with my name. And then today I was thinking about telling this story, and I pulled up to the light where the Waze told me, find a spot and take a moment to be present. And the car in front of me had my name in like these, I don't know, it was like these words, these letters on their car. And it had my name and then two other letters. And who knows what that was for? I don't know. I've never seen that before, but I thought that was interesting because I was thinking in that moment about telling this story and then saw that. So it was just another, as we always talk about, confirmation of being supported by the universe and things wanting to give you, a good little pat on the back and keep going in that direction. So before we end today, I thought I would take us through a little meditation. We haven't done that in a while in last season. And yeah, come back and watch our other guests and see how this season's going to play out. I'm excited to see who's going to be on and all the things we're going to do. And we have new questions that we're asking our guests. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you all over all of this. So let's do a meditation. I think because of this theme of small things, in my mind, it's like I was thinking about this meditation in a way of small things like pulling a thread. So pulling that thread and coming to something. So I want to use that in the theme of this meditation. And then we'll definitely ask the void a question and sign off. So if you're somewhere you can get comfortable and close your eyes, please do. If not, just enjoy the guidance and the journey in your mind. So you could close your eyes and connect with your breath. And I want you to imagine that you are pulling a very small thread and it's slowly leading you into a space. And as you continue to pull that thread and follow that thread, it leads you into a beautiful energy, any color that you would like. And this energy is expansion, creativity, love, and just keep pulling that thread as you're traveling through these energies. And just observing anything you see, anything you feel. As you continue to travel through these emotions, through these energies. And as you continue to pull the thread, it leads you into your heart. And as you enter your heart, you feel the warmness of the energy of love moving through you and surrounding you like a gentle hug. And just be in this space for a moment. And let's try what we talked about earlier. asking yourself, asking your mind, what is my next thought? And experiencing just that presence of wonder. Feeling your energy shifting into a present moment, being in your body, starting to wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, blinking your eyes open. Thank you again for being here. I'm going to ask the void a question. Welcome back, void. The question today is, if you could make yourself into a shape, what shape would you want to be? And it could be like an actual square, triangle type shape, or it could be like an animal or anything. What shape would you want to form yourself into?
Sphere.
A sphere. Okay, cool. Thank you, Void. It's nice to talk to you again. All right, everyone. I look forward to connecting with you over this season. And I wish you so much joy and serendipity on your healing journey. And I know our paths will cross again.